And welcome back. You're watching Sydney Direct with me, Natalie MacDonald. Now, last time Katrina Ell of Moody's Analytics was with us, she was talking inflation. Today, we're talking employment and can the ABS redeem themselves from last month's employment bungle? Well, let's see. Katrina Ell, thank you very much for joining us once again.
Thanks for having me again.
Okay, so unemployment. Perhaps the bigger headline here is not the 6.2%, quite flat figure really for unemployment, but more so the 24,100 jobs that were created in October.
I actually prefer to look at the unemployment rate when I'm analysing the Australian Bureau of Statistics Labour Force Survey, just because I find it encapsulates a lot of different moving parts. So where we can get a good picture of what's happening with unemployment, employment, as well as the participation rate. So we saw in October the unemployment rate held steady at 6.2%, which is indicative of an economy that's slightly underperforming potential. We're seeing mining starting to shed jobs, whereas the non-mining economy isn't quite picking up enough of the slack yet.
Now, the ABS commented earlier this week that it is in fact going to revise upwards that September figure, again making it a 6.2%. How difficult is it at the moment really to get an overall picture of the labour market?
Well, markets have been quite sceptical of the figures in recent times because the data's just been so volatile, so unusually volatile. So it's a problem because the labour market survey is a key input into our understanding of what's actually going on with the labour market, and I mean what also is going on with the economy, because the labour market's a good barometer of what's happening. So sure, there's been a huge gap in our knowledge of what's been going on.
Is credibility still a big question here, and how will that potentially impact market response?
Well, it looks like the Australian Bureau of Statistics has sorted out the issues with their survey, like sampling and seasonality, but it's going to take a while for markets to get back on board with the survey and really believe the estimates. I think we saw a bit of that in October. We saw a pretty solid almost 25,000 jobs created over the month, but there was what we'd call a fairly muted response from the Australian dollar. It didn't appreciate as much as we would have expected under normal circumstances.
Now, we touched on it earlier in terms of participation rate. Part-time employment has been a bit of a bugbear for some analysts, actually, as they argue really the effectivity of participation rate. Could a steady RBA policy, as we could now see going forward, perhaps make a more steady pattern in terms of the hiring and firing of small businesses?
Well, the Reserve Bank of Australia has been very clear that it's going to keep rates on hold for about another year, and that's the stability that businesses have been really craving for. We've seen in recent months business conditions and business confidence improve, and with the ongoing stability of low rates, we should see further improvement. And so that's really what businesses need, that low interest rate environment to encourage more hiring and firing. So we're expecting employment growth to keep gradually improving in the next coming months, and we should see the unemployment rate head below 6% by about mid-2015.
Katrina, great chatting with you once again. Thank you so much today.
Thank you.
Great comments there from Katrina at Moody's Analytics. That's all we've got time for right now. However, next week I'm going to be talking to the Financial Services Council and bringing you plenty more exclusive interviews from market insiders right here in Sydney, Australia. For now though, it's goodbye.